17th chapter. Egyptology. Crucifixion by Pharaoh. Crucifixion of Jesus is portrayed in the Bible as death on the cross. This same word crucifixion also appears in the Quran, however contemporary to Joseph. Skeptics claim that whoever wrote the Quran made a mistake. The Romans invented this method 4th century BC, so crucifixion could not have been known at the time of Joseph. Today Egyptologists found papyrus depicting crucifixion before Joseph. History. Probably originating with the Assyrians and Babylonians, crucifixion was first used systematically by the Persians. In its earliest form in Persia, the victim was tied to a tree or post, or even impaled on an upright post, with feet clear of the ground. Only later was a cross used. In the 4th century BC, Alexander the Great adopted crucifixion and brought it to the Mediterranean shores, where his successors. National Library of Medicine, The History and Pathology of Crucifixion, F.P. Retief, L. Silius. Crucifixion was known and used by Assyrians and Babylonians long before Romans. But the victims were tied or impaled on a post instead of a cross. This was only known recently, however this was portrayed in the Quran 1,400 years before it was discovered. Joseph told his inmate that he will be crucified. Quran says in Surah Yusuf 12:41, "O my fellow inmates, one of you will serve his master wine, while the other will be crucified, and the birds will eat from his head. Thus the matter you are inquiring about is settled."
يا صاحبي السجن، أما أحدكما فيسقي ربه خمرا وأما الآخر فيصلب فتأكل الطير من رأسه، قضي الأمر الذي فيه تستفتيان.
Quran says in Surah Al-Fajr 89:10-12, "And Pharaoh of the stakes, who transgressed in the lands, and spread corruption."
وفرعون ذي الأوتاد الذين طغوا في البلاد فأكثروا فيها الفساد.
Autad means stakes. Victims were tied or impaled on these stakes. In another verse it implied that it was not a T-shaped cross. Quran says in Surah Taha 20:71, "He said, did you believe in him before I have given you permission? He must be your chief, who has taught you magic. I will cut off your hands and your feet on alternate sides, and I will crucify you on the trunks of the palm trees. Then you will know which of us is more severe in punishment, and more lasting."
قال آمنتم له قبل أن آذن لكم إنه لكبيركم الذي علمكم السحر فلأقطعن أيديكم وأرجلكم من خلاف ولأصلبنكم في جذوع النخل ولتعلمن أينا أشد عذابا وأبقى.
I will cut off your hands and your feet on alternate sides, and I will crucify you on the trunks of the palm trees. If the hands were cut off, then definitely it was not a T-shaped cross, it had to be impalement on stakes. In the same verse it says that he will crucify them on the trunks of palm trees. These are just thicker than the usual stakes as a bigger punishment for them. This method of crucifixion was known and used by Assyrians and Babylonians long before Romans. Today Egyptologists found papyrus depicting impalement on stakes. Hieroglyph for impalement on a stake. Figure 4, hieroglyph writing for stake. RDJ hour equals to put on the stake, for punishment, debt. Equals determinative, hieroglyph for classifying Egyptian words. Here it shows an impaled man bent upon OST. Hieroglyph writing for fall, i.e., stake. Number 3 shows impalement on a stake. AK. Mentioning of impalement in the Theban account papyrus, Papyrus Bulaq 18. Papyrus Bulaq 18 is dated to the early 2nd intermediate period reign of Chencha, Sobahotep II, both of them kings from the 13th dynasty. It is translated as a bloodbath had occurred with by wood. The comrade was put on the stake, land near the island, waking alive at the places of life, safety and health. This proves that impalement on stake was known and used by Egyptians before Joseph. How could an illiterate man who lived 1,400 years ago have known if crucifixion was known or not?